Let me ask you this, because I see from what you mentioned there, sled movement and that translation of force. Obviously, the core is going to be a huge part of all those movements. Because I could see, you know, powerlifters notorious for being powerful, but and athletes and bodybuilders are notorious for being powerful, but they don't translate weight and power well, because their core ends up being a weak component. In that sled, in that movement of translation of forces, what I'm getting is that the military now sees the huge importance of being able to push and move dynamics across the distance, right? At the same time, like sled movement, right? Is that what I'm getting? Or is that, and how is it that we can strengthen their core? And what is your philosophy on that?
Yeah, so the military really just wanted the test to be more athletic-based, strength-based, movement-based than it is right now. Because, like I said, right now it's push-ups, sit-ups, and run. That's it. 3 exercises, and you're done. So they wanted it to be more strength-based with the trap bar deadlift, more power-based with the med ball throw, and then anaerobic capacities measured with that sled drag movement. It's 5 exercises. So it's a sprint, and then the sled drag, and then a carry, then a shuffle. And then a carry, and then another sprint. So 5 exercises, 25-meter lane. So it's a lot more anaerobic capacity. You have to be able to transition from that into the aerobic run, which is still a 2-mile run at the end. There's a lot more training that goes into it.
I'm excited, man. I see it. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at the beginning of this, the time you get them, and by the time you're done, these people can push something, man.
Yep. So there's a lot more that goes into it, and the core training does play a big part. The leg tuck is way more difficult than the sit-ups are, right? So there's a lot of people that can't even do one leg tuck. And it's a lot more difficult. It involves a lot more muscle groups. You got to get a little bit of a pull-up along with the hip flexors flying up, the lower abs engaging. It's a lot more fully involved than the sit-up is. So we try to do a lot of stuff to strengthen the core. We do a lot of med ball slams. We do a lot of, obviously a lot of true core training, but we work a lot more on core stability than, you know, getting them into a lot of flexion. They've been doing sit-ups for years. A lot of them have low back pain because of that, because they're so much into that low back flexion, which I'm not really a big fan of. So we do a lot more core stability type stuff, and then a lot more like dynamic core. So, you know, your weighted abs, your hanging stuff, whether it's, you know, hanging from the bar and just doing knees to chest, and med ball stuff.
Hey, I really believe that what he just said was a huge component. Now, he has spent his whole life understanding body dynamics, and he ended up understanding, and now the military gets it in a different level. The translation of force comes from the core. It is huge. When you hear med ball slams, that is a body that's going to its fullest out and slamming in full range of motion. When you're seeing hip flexes, you're pulling that hip to the furthest, deepest dungeon of movement, to the furthest extreme on the outside. So to be able to do that, to be able to translate weight and sled movement, you're going to need a powerful core. The dynamics of it is the ability to move it through time and space at a certain rate of speed. How long you do it, you can do it a little bit, that's strength, but power means you can translate it over 25 feet or so and hit back and forth. So we're really pushing the body to a level that is amazing. I have sat down with certain patients of mine, and they find that theory, and I found it to be very interesting, that deep tuck, the knee tuck, and the deep flexion movements. Where did that philosophy come from, and you have, as a physiologist and as a nutrition strength coach, how did that come in? Where did that come from that they realized that those particular movements, slam ball, as well as the deep tuck, became a crucial component in the military action?
So I know the people are, Major Matthews, that actually used to run H2F. She's transferred over to a different side of the military now, but she used to work at the Olympic training facility in Colorado, and I know she helped develop the test. So I would guess, I don't know for sure, but I would guess she played a big role in that.
Yeah.
Because she, you know, does know a lot more about that side of things. I know she helped create, you know, with the power throw and stuff.
What's her name? Shout out again.
Major Matthews.
Major Matthews. Okay.
So, you know, we met her. She came down. I think it was a little bit before Taylor got here.
Yeah.
So, but she
Christine's
came down and
her
talked to
first
us.
Name.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she came down and talked to us and explained, about the test and why they were doing it and whatever. And